folks, how's it going? Fred over at Build Burn Become. This is episode number 7, and once again, you have me all to yourself. I do not have a guest today, but why not just do a monologue? I actually enjoyed the last one I did, episode 2. Got a lot of feedback, people saying it was nice to be able to get inside my head a little bit. Pretty cool hearing that feedback. It's also a little scary too. I don't know if I want to be in my head for too long, but hey, it is what it is. But I just wanted to do a little housekeeping before we go ahead with this podcast. And for the listeners for the show, I just wanted to let you know that this podcast is sponsored by Beachbox Fitness, cardio kickboxing, and functional training. Smart boxing technology where you get paid to work out. If you use the code 3BPOD, you can get $100 off of a membership package. That's 3BPOD for $100 off unlimited package, where it's guaranteed that not only will you lose 500 to 1,000 calories per workout, but you will have a lot of fun while doing so. If you visit beachboxnow.com to book your next fitness experience and come in and you use the code, that's the number 3, the letter B, and the word pod, and you'll get your discount. And we are also sponsored by CryoElite. If you want to try whole body cryotherapy or get a cryofacial for collagen stimulation, you can come to CryoElite. That's cryoelite.com. If you use the code 3BCHILL, you can enjoy $100 off of a cryo package. So you give CryoElite a call and book with them online or on the online on the website, or you can just pop in and say hello and take a look around. And you can restore, revive, and renew with CryoElite. We have whole body cryotherapy, cryo body slimming and toning. We do cryo parties where the host gets cryotherapy for free, and the attendants get a nice little discount. You could have food, you can listen to music. It's a great way to start off your evening before you go out and, say, burn up the town. So you chill with us, and then you go out and you burn up the town. And we also offer massages and things like that too. So you could come and check us out. If you use the 2 codes together, you will get a whopping $200 savings, and you could jumpstart your way to attaining your fitness goals. So that's that for that. And one other of our sponsors is Boosker Coffee. They're right next door to us. They make delicious coffee, and a lot of people like to come out of the cryotherapy chamber and grab a nice hot cup of coffee to warm them back up. And moving right along, I just wanted to cover a few things. This is a fitness podcast, and I haven't really talked much about techniques or anything like that when it comes to exercise. So one thing that I've been experimenting a lot lately is with trying to fix like shoulder and upper back pain. And if you're watching the video right now, you can see I'm leaning forward toward the microphone, and my shoulders are rounded forward, and this is causing a lot of pain. I should say a lot of pain. It's causing some discomfort up here in my neck area. I should really be sitting back and having my shoulders back. So we all tend to sit like this, especially when we're using our phones, our computers, sitting at a desk, watching TV, whatever it is that we're doing, we might have this poor posture. So basically, if you have shoulder and knee and pain injuries, you want to look at how your shoulder sits. Rounded forward with the chest closed, the way I'm sitting right now, and back is the back is rounded. Your back is rounded, and it's a common, like I said, it's a common position for us to be sitting in a lot, unfortunately. So working from there, you have a limited range of motion, and your shoulders can actually be impinged. And over time, that creates an injury. Believe it or not, you're actually creating an injury by sitting this way. It's not a good position to be in, and your body it's like a cumulative effect or chronic. at some point it's going to affect you so badly that you're going to be operating from an injury point. You can feel the tweak of pain in the muscle. You're going to feel soreness. You know, it's most likely going to be coming from the muscle weakness that you get from sitting that way. You're engaging the wrong muscles. Your muscles get tighter and they feel fatigued. So you have to be able to sit better. That's how you're going to fix the problem. You know, you could go to the gym and work out, but the main problem is your posture. So you need to open up the pecs and the biceps, which attaches to the pec area. You need to stretch your arms back often. Do it all the time, all day long. And this is going to help your posture. It's going to help that area of your back where you're starting to feel that tightness. And, you know, then the next step is to work at strengthening the back. And this will start to fix the imbalance. By strengthening your back, it opens the chest because it's the opposite. You know, you're doing the opposite of what you're doing in that hunched over position. Sometimes a tight muscle is just a weak muscle. It tightens up to support itself because it's basically scared of itself releasing and getting more injured. So it's just like a defense mechanism. You want to strengthen tight muscles. You do also want to go for massages and things like that too. But you don't want to you don't want to neglect actually strengthening the muscle. That's the most important thing. We're always battling time. We're always battling our age. You know, as time goes by, our muscles want to get smaller and weaker. So always think strength training. Keep the muscles engaged. Keep them fired up. And if you have tight pecs, if you're a guy who bench presses all the time and your chest muscles are really tight, that's going to also cause your shoulders to roll forward too because they're tight, right? Your pecs are going to pull on that part of the kinetic chain. And basically you're going to have the same problem. So poor posture and a lot of bench pressing or something where you get your pecs tightened up, that's all going to work against you. So you always want to have constant work on your body to maintain good posture. And you can use yoga, tune-up balls, to roll out the pec muscles, go for massages, like I said already. But ultimately, like when I get done with this podcast today, I'm going to make sure I sit back into the chair for a few minutes to, you know, compensate for my leaning forward. And that's just one way you can take care of yourself. And you apply this to pretty much everything else body-wise. Like if you have injuries and pain that you're dealing with, you have to think about your posture and what you're doing on your daily activity that, you know, leads to this chronic effect. Moving along, I now want to talk about non-GMO food, eating non-GMO food. We've heard a lot about genetically modified food, and, you know, I guess there's a lot of debate going on, although in the United States it seems like there's more debate outside the United States, like in Europe. GMO food is really rejected. I mean, people just don't want it over there. The minute you start messing with their food in any way, shape, or form, they flip out. And over here, there's probably, you know, more money being thrown at protecting genetically modified foods than anywhere, anytime ever. So we get a lot of this stuff pushed on us. And, you know, when it comes down to organic food, non-GMO food, prices tend to be higher. And people look at those price tags and they say, well, I'm not spending $4 on a pepper that's organic, non-GMO. I'm going to spend $4 on a whole bag of peppers because, you know, that's more affordable. And putting, you know, your budget aside for 1 second, if you just think about it, though, that what you put in your body is the most important thing because it's going to give you your energy. It's going to give you your ability to feel good and work and everything else. And you also have your family, right? You want to feed your family the best quality food you can. And it's understandable when you start looking at these foods how expensive they can be. But at the end of the day, if you try to find a happy medium in between. So like they say, like organic food, there's certain ones that you should definitely eat. You know, they're called the dirty dozen. And I'm not going to go down the list of it, but if you go online and you Google organic food, dirty dozen or whatever, you're going to see, you know, like strawberries. They're covered in pesticides, and blueberries and other types of fruits like that. You know, they're just so riddled with pesticides that they put them on this list. And they're like, if you're going to buy this organic food, you're going to go with what's on this list. And then there's foods that you don't really need to have as organic, like an avocado or a banana. Those, they have the skin on the outside, so you know, when you rip them open and you eat the stuff in the middle, it's not really as loaded up with pesticides, but it is still full of pesticides. And essentially, you know, you have to determine what you could do for your budget. But I just wanted to point this out that, you know, to take GMO food and organic food seriously as part of your diet, you don't want to shortchange yourself on your nutrition, and you certainly don't want to have health problems if they should arise. You know, what are you going to do after years and years of eating food that has pesticides or it's been genetically modified? So taking care of your diet requires a lot of different things. You know, it's just a matter of breaking it down into simple things like lists, like the Dirty Dozen list, and taking it from there. And moving right along, the other thing I wanted to talk about that was really on my mind for a long time, and I wanted to share with the audience, you know, this podcast is about how to become, you know, the thing that you want to be, that your identity. You want to get into the fitness lifestyle, or you're in it already, you want to take it to the next level. And we always seem to look at our lives, and one thing we come across is there's these things that get in the way, or there's things that pull us away sometimes, such as, you know, your family or whatever. And I thought it would be worthwhile to really look at what this means. So when somebody says, you know, their family and they don't have time to work out, I thought about what that means before I go out and say anything. I don't want to, you know, take away from what that person's feeling. So I happen to have a daughter, and I've mentioned her many times, and, you know, I do want to approach this subject now as far as what family is and what it means on this podcast, at least to me. So when I look at my daughter and I think about how she makes me feel about life, right, I know that I want to spend as much time with her as I possibly can, because life can be short and she's growing up fast, and I do want to be there like every minute of the day. I also know that I'm no good to her if my fitness starts to decline. If I get older and I start to fall apart, am I going to be able to be as active? Like, for instance, when she is old enough to start going for bike rides, am I going to be so out of shape at that point that I can't even keep up with her? I don't want to even think about that. So for me, my daughter makes me feel about life that every single minute is a blessing, and you have to work for it. Every single minute that goes by is your opportunity to hone your edge and be the best that you could possibly be. Of course, you know, we're all struggling with things in our life, stress and everything, and yes, we do get pulled away from our goals sometimes, and it's hard to get back. But when I think about her and I think about the sunshine that she lets into my life, I think I have to get out of bed and I have to go work out. And, you know, if I don't sleep, if I only sleep a couple of hours, maybe I'm not going to work out that day. But if I only catch maybe, say, 4 or 5 hours of sleep and I feel tired when I wake up, I have to at least show up at the gym and try. And usually 9 times out of 10, I succeed. I get a workout in and I feel much better. And when I do that, it makes me feel better about my relationship with her. At least I know I'm giving myself a fighting chance to stay healthier longer, to be active longer, to be a role model for her, to show her that physical activity is a great thing, and for her to embrace it. If she sees me doing it, the chances of her doing it are increased. And if she sees, when she gets older and she becomes even more cognizant of what it is that I'm doing, she sees that I'm pushing myself. And even though I want to stay home and sleep and I want to make excuses, I still go ahead and I get out there for an hour and I work out. If she sees this, I think that that's going to teach her something. At least I hope so. There's only so far you could go, but if you want to be a hero for your kid, I feel like the best thing you could do is take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your health, and stay around as long as possible for them. That's what you want to do. You want to be available to them, assist them through life as far as you can go. Yeah, I might be talking about a subject here that is maybe, well, look, we're talking about how long can you live for, right? Let's be blunt here. Nobody wants to think about their end or their demise, but at the end of the day, it's something to consider. So I want to be around for as long as possible. My daughter makes me feel like that's the most important thing I could possibly do. And, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for me. And I'm happy to share this feeling with everybody and, checking out the podcast. And if you guys would like for me to talk more about things like this, shoot us a message. You can contact us through the website, or on Facebook, or on Instagram, and let us know what you think about how to, basically balance your life out, and have your health in one hand and your family and your work in the other hand, and they call it a juggling match or whatever. It's a struggle to other people. I don't think of it that way. I think of it as just that, finding that healthy balance in your life. And it's hard to do sometimes, but I think if we talk about it, we can definitely be about it. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everything that everybody's been saying about the podcast, and I look forward to doing the next one. So check us out when we come back for the next episode. I hope you liked today's. Take care. Become a better you.